Magic tricks and lettuce wraps. What do they have in common? Well, I'm a magician and I just ate lettuce wraps. Today I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a prediction trick, something you could do, something easy, something simple. Of course, if you don't know anything about magic, then what are you doing here? You should check out the Pigcake Magic Academy. $5 a month gets you 2 videos every single week going over card and coin stuff. Over 300 videos already. What? Huh? Join the academy. I would wait to the first of the month though, so you don't get charged twice. Because if you start now, guess what? They're going to charge you again on the first of the month. And I don't want to get an angry email. So wait till the first, sign up. Rave reviews all around, all right? Rave reviews everywhere. People saying, hey, this is the best thing I've ever done. This is the greatest amalgam of sleights of magic that I've ever seen in one place, taught by an excellent teacher. So I appreciate that. Join that if you don't know anything about magic. But besides that, I think we should roll the intro so that people think that this channel has production value. You know, a number of you guys have said, hey, Pigcake, what about that cable management? How you doing that cable management? Listen, I'm managing the cables, all right? They're there on the floor, okay, right there. They're being managed right now. So how about you mind your own business and not worry about what's surrounding my my domicile? So here we're going to do a little bit of a trick. It requires mixing some cards and a prediction. The prediction, of course, is in my pocket. I don't want the spectator to see it. But here's what I want them to do. I want them to hold it between their fingertips, much like a small Vietnamese child. And what they're to do is that as I'm spreading, they could insert it wherever it is they want. So they could take this little packet and insert it wherever it is that they want into the spread. Let's say they happen to insert it, I don't know, right over here. Here's a good spot. I say, of course, you don't know what's on the prediction, sir, because if you did, then we'd be doing this in reverse. We'd be doing this in reverse. But the prediction here, it actually is a little bit of a message. I don't know if you could read it. Obviously you can't. It says, well, the fourth card from this spot will be the 5 of clubs. So the fourth card from this spot will be the 5 of clubs. Oh boy, what a wondrous little prediction here. So let's see if that's true. That's 1, 2, 3, and of course the fourth card down happens to be the 5 of clubs, exactly as I predicted. But wait a second. This doesn't end there. I think this goes on a little bit further. So we have 3 random cards here. 3 cards that don't matter. How about you pick one? Pick whichever one you want. Pick the card that draws you in the most. And of course, the spectator at this point says this one right over here. I say perfect. I'm going to put that card aside here because my blocking skills are terrible. And I could have set this up beforehand and had a table here ready. But instead, I chose to do this on the spot. Here are the cards you didn't pick, sir. You didn't pick the 10 or the queen. You didn't pick either of these cards. You actually picked the ace. That was your free selection, the ace. And of course, beforehand, I want you to notice that in the little prediction, it says you will pick the ace. I knew everything all along. You have no free will. Little bitch. So here's a very, very simple card trick. Again, it requires just a little bit of a setup, and it requires one of my favorite moves of all time, the prophecy move, the Bill Simon prophecy move, which I'll be teaching for the 9th time. These nuts here on the channel, just because it's one of my favorite moves of all time. It's so simple and it could do so much. So all we're going to do here is very simply, we're going to take 3 aces. In this case, we're going to take 3 aces, and then we're going to place the 5 of clubs on top. That's going to be your setup on top of the deck. So 3 aces. If you want, you could grab the other ace. If you're afraid that it's going to come up during the routine, you could throw it away if you want. You could take it and throw it. You could grab it and you could throw it into the trash can that you live near. You garbage human. Hey there, Pigcake from the future here. I realized that in watching this and playing it back that, well, the setup is incorrect. The setup that I said in that earlier shot was incorrect. You don't want the 5 on top, silly. You want the 5 on the bottom. You want the 5 on the bottom. So you want to put 3 aces followed by the 5. That goes on top of the deck. You don't want to put the 5 on top because then, well, it's gonna be an ace. It's not gonna be the 5. It's gonna be an ace, and your trick is gonna be wrong, and you're gonna look stupid. So that's a little bit of a fixer there. I'm sorry. It's all the comp tricks that I take. So let's just go back to the actual explanation there, because the rest of it's correct. Then you're going to get a little bit of a business card here. On the outside, you're going to write the fourth card down. From this spot will be the 5 of clubs. I should have read that, right? I should have read that in the performance, but it says the fourth card under this spot is a 5 of clubs. Now it helps that this is an index card size, because when you fold it, an index card takes up a little bit more space, and the prophecy move is going to be a little bit easier if you use a index card size. However, I have to make with what's due, and here is a business card because that's what I had around. And on the inside, you're going to write you will pick the ace. So that's your little bit of a bonus prediction here. It says you will pick the ace. Oh boy, what a wonderful world we live in. So this is going to go in your pocket. The setup goes on top, and now you could false shuffle the deck. And by false shuffle, I mean real shuffle, but not shuffle your mess. So you don't want the top cards disturbed in this particular case. All you want is the illusion that the deck is being mixed. Now at this point, you could reach into your pocket, and you're going to take out your prediction, making sure that the prediction side isn't towards them, because then at that point there's no surprise. So you're going to hand this card to them with the edge facing the right side of your person. So you're a person, the edge is going to face the right side. The reason for this is because when they stick this card in there, you want it to be easy. If they do it the other way, guess what? There's a chance that they might sandwich a card, and they might, do some sort of trick that you don't want them to do. So if you hand the card with the edge towards the right side, that's not going to happen. So you're going to spread the deck, and you're going to have them insert this little piece of card wherever it is they want. And now at this point, you're going to do the Bill Simon prophecy move. Again, a very, very simple move, but very effective, essentially cutting the deck secretly as you show the face of this card. So all we're going to do is we're going to spread to the location where they inserted the card. Again, it would best work with an index card. At this point, I'm going to turn this whole packet up. So this packet in my right hand is being turned to a face-up position. I'm going to use my thumb to grab that little card, and I'm going to turn it to a face-up position this way. So you see that all I'm doing is I'm turning this face up. Now at this point, I'm just going to bring this half just like this on top and have this situation shown for the spectator. The assumption being that all I did was turn over that single card. Really, all I did was cut the cards, but they're not aware of it. This works best, one more time, with an index card, because the index card takes up more space, and therefore it's not as awkward to work with as a smaller business card. Little tip there. So now at this point, you could read the actual message to the spectator. Once you spread through, you take out the cards that are above it, and you're going to read it to the spectator that it says the fourth card under this spot is the 5 of clubs. The 5 of clubs. So at this point, you're going to count down very fairly, and that's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's going to be the 5 of clubs. Again, very fair, very open to the spectator, and a nice little bit of a punch so far, right? But the routine is not over yet. At this point, you say, hey, we have 3 cards here. Why don't we do something special with these, sir? So why don't you go ahead and pick one? Pick whichever one calls out to you, sir. Now here, notice that the prediction says you will choose the ace. They're all aces. It doesn't matter. They're all aces. You see, they're all aces. So literally, your choice doesn't matter here. They could pick whichever one they want. Whichever one they do pick here, I've taken the time to get a break underneath the second card from the top of the left-handed half. So the reason for this is because in a moment, I'm going to show the 2 cards they didn't pick to be 2 random cards, as opposed to being aces, and your gig is up. So at this point, they touch whatever card they want. You could place that card aside. You could have them hold on to it for a brief moment as you just take these cards, almost drop them, but catch them because you have the reflexes of a cat. And you're simply going to turn all these 4 cards over. You're going to turn over all these 4 cards. So right now I've shown these 2 cards. I've squared it up with the rest of the deck. I'm turning all these 4 cards over. And now I could spread these 2 and show that they're random cards. I could show them as being random cards here, just to solidify the fact that they had a free choice. At this point, I could draw attention to the fact that, guess what? They picked the ace. And now, if you haven't realized it, you could then show that the inside of the prediction says you will pick the ace, thus coming to a wonderful conclusion here. One more little bit that you want to do here, and you want to make sure when you're showing these 2 random cards that aren't aces, you don't want to call them by their full name. You don't want to say, oh, the 10 of spades or the queen of spades. You want to say you didn't pick the 10 or the queen. The reason for that is that when you show the fact that your prediction matches and that they did in fact pick the ace, there's no discrepancy there. You said they didn't pick the 10 or the queen, they picked the ace, and the suit pretty much just disappears from their mentality. Whereas had you named the queen and the 10 of spades, and they would be thinking, hey, you didn't think of the suit. What is this, a half prediction? So you got to make sure that everything matches here. So you say you will pick the ace, and you show them that they did in fact pick the ace, coming to a nice little bit of a conclusion, and thus solidifying your role as the biggest virgin that they've ever met in the entirety of their life. Oh boy, what a sad existence, but an important one nevertheless. So thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys do all the things that people do when it comes to videos, right? As I mentioned earlier, you could check out the academy. You could check out my projects. I have projects on pigcake.me. A lot of people don't know that, but I have a couple of different ones there that also have rave reviews. Persistence of Memory is one. That's a hot one. Short, that's another one. Again, not in reference to me, but in reference to the project. There's also Anytime. That's a good one. That's a hot one, I would say. Or other YouTube performers would say that's a hot one. But that's about it. That's about it. Thank you guys. Rocking all green outfits. The butter look like sun chips. Suck my son's dick. We in the street like a bum's shit. Bury me in Kissina. I'm riding low like a centipede in the Beamer. $1 million belt. Precious facial features. Acid in the fucking headband. Get the bedpan. I'm shitting myself, and you're the one that's gonna clean it while I lay there just to get some Ray-Bans? Shit. $800 just for play pants.